Hey guys, this is Bhavani. In this video, I'll be briefing you with purine metabolism. I'll discuss purine metabolism in the following headings, that is, formation of purine ring, de novo purine synthesis, purine degradation, purine salvage, uric acid, and finally its disorders. We'll begin up with the questionnaire. A 40-year-old male presented with severe pain, redness, and swelling of the base of the first metatarsophalageal joint in the night after a bout of alcohol consumption. The patient was in usual state of health until early in this morning, when he woke up with severe pain in the right big toe. The patient denies any trauma to the toe, and there were no previous history of such pain in other joints. On examination, he had mild fever of 38.2 degrees centigrade. The right big toe was swollen, warm, red, and tender. Serum uric acid levels were 9.7 milligrams per deciliter. So question is, what is likely diagnosis? What is the pathogenesis of the condition? And how would you make the definite diagnosis? Guys, don't panic as soon as you see this question. You will get to know everything at the end of the session, and even you will be able to answer this question. You know what? Purines are pure as gold. Yes, purines are pure as gold, which means purines consist of adenine and guanine. Formation of purine ring. Purine ring consists of two rings, and from which N1 is derived from amino group of aspartate, C2 from N10 formal THFA, C8 from N5 N10 methyl THFA, N3 and N9 are obtained from amide group of glutamine, C4, C5 and N7 are contributed by glycine, whereas C6 directly comes from carbon dioxide. Purines are built upon a pre-existing ribose 5-phosphate. Liver is the major site for purine nucleotide synthesis. You need to remember this, that is, erythrocytes, leukocytes, and brain cannot produce purine. Guys, let me take you to your school days. When you used to get summer holidays, you used to construct something or destruct something, and pakka you'll get scoldings from your parents, and or you'd have recycled something. Purine will be dealt in the same manner, that is, if you construct purine, it is de novo purine synthesis. If you destruct purine, it is purine degradation. If you recycle purine, it is purine salvage. Or in the other words, if you want to buy a car, you either go for a new car or you buy a used car. In the same manner, if you want to make a purine, you either prepare new purine or you prepare a recycled purine. Synthesis of new purine is by mechanism called de novo pathway, and synthesis of recycled purine is by mechanism called salvage pathway. First, we'll be studying about de novo pathway. It is called so because purine ring is synthesized from different small groups. They are of 11 steps. I'll be discussing you. So, just remember these numbers, that is 1, 3, 5, 6 and 8 requires ATP and is catalyzed by synthase. And step 2 and 5 requires glutamine, step 3 requires glycine, step 4 and 10 requires THF, step 7 requires carbon dioxide, step 8 requires aspartate. Or in simple manner, step 1, 3, 5, 6 and 8 requires ATP, whereas step 2 and step 5 requires glutamine. Step 3 requires glycine, step 4 and step 10 requires THF, step 7 requires carbon dioxide, step 8 requires aspartate. Don't think that there is nothing in step 9 and step 11. Step 9 releases fumarate, whereas step 11 releases water. So, this process begins with ribosyl 5-phosphate, which is derived from HMP shunt pathway. Ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of ATP is converted into PRPP with the help of enzyme PRPP synthetase. PRPP with the help of glutamine is converted into 5-phosphoribosyl 1-amine. With the synthesis is catalyzed by a reaction PRPP glutamyl amylotransferase. 5-phosphoribosyl 1-amine with the help of ATP and glycine is catalyzed into glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of enzyme synthetase. So I'll be briefing again. Ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of ATP is converted into PRPP. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme PRPP synthetase. This is a step 1, and step 2 is PRPP is converting into 5-phosphoribosyl 1-amine with the help of glutamine and PRPP glutamyl amylotransferase. Step 3 is 5-phosphoribosyl 1-amine gets converted into glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of ATP, glycine and an enzyme synthetase. Glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of N5-N10 methyl THFA and enzyme transferase gets converted into formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate. This formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of glutamine and ATP gets converted into formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate, and this reaction is catalyzed by synthase. Formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of ATP and an enzyme synthase gets converted into amino imidazole ribosyl 5-phosphate. So to come again, glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of an enzyme transferase gets converted into formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate. Formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate gets converted into formyl glycinamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of synthase. And the next, this enzyme is converted into amino imidazole ribosyl 5-phosphate. This amino imidazole ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of carboxylase is converted into amino imidazole carboxylate ribosyl 5-phosphate, which releases carbon dioxide. And this step, with the help of aspartate and ATP, gets converted into amino imidazole succinyl carboxamide ribosyl 5-phosphate. Amino imidazole succinyl carboxamide ribosyl 5-phosphate with the help of enzyme lyase gets converted into amino imidazole carboxamide ribosyl 5-phosphate, which releases fumarate. This amino imidazole carboxamide ribosyl 5-phosphate reacts with formyl THF with the help of enzyme transferase gets converted into formyl amino imidazole carboxamide ribosyl 5-phosphate. This, with the help of enzyme catalase, gets converted into IMP, and finally it releases water. Now IMP is synthesized. From IMP we need to synthesize AMP and GMP. IMP, with the help of enzyme adenyl succinate synthase, gets converted into adenosyl succinate. This adenosyl succinate, with the help of adenyl succinase, gets converted into AMP, which releases formate. Then IMP, if it reacts with IMP dehydrogenase, releases xanthosine monophosphate. Xanthosine monophosphate, when this reacts with an enzyme GMP synthetase, releases GMP. Next is formation of di and triphosphates from this AMP and GMP. When AMP and GMP nucleosides, this is a monophosphate, nucleoside monophosphates reacts with NMP kinase, gets converted into nucleoside diphosphate. Diphosphates are ADP and GDP. When this ADP or GDP reacts with NDP kinase, gets converted into nucleoside triphosphate, that is ATP and GTP. Next is degradation of purine nucleotides. So now AMP, when reacts with AMP amino hydrolase, gets converted into IMP. Or when AMP reacts with 5 nucleotidases, gets converted into adenosine. This IMP, which further reacts with 5 nucleotidases, gets converted into inosine, or adenosine, which reacts with adenosine deaminases, gets converted into inosine. Inosine, when it reacts with nucleoside phosphorylase, gets converted into hypoxanthine. Hypoxanthine, when it reacts with xanthine oxidase, gets converted into xanthine, and xanthine, which further reacts with xanthine oxidase and gets converted to uric acid. Whereas adenine, if it reacts with adenine deaminases, it gets converted into hypoxanthine and continues the following steps. Whereas finally uric acid is formed. On the other hand, when guanosine reacts with nucleoside phosphorylase, it gets converted into guanine. When guanine reacts with guanine deaminase, it gets converted into xanthine, and next it reacts with xanthine oxidase, and finally uric acid is formed. This is the degradation of purine nucleotide. So now coming to Salvage pathway. There is a saying known as "I was dying but suddenly had a second chance of living," said by Shelley Fabre. Now, our purine says that I was degraded but suddenly had a second chance at salvage, which means this pathway ensures the recycling of purines from degradation of nucleotides. Nucleotides and deoxynucleosides can also be salvaged. The purines can be directly converted to the corresponding nucleotides, and this process is known as salvage pathway. PRPP is the starting material in the pathway. It is also a substrate for de novo synthesis. When adenine reacts with adenine phosphoribosyl transferase, gets converted into adenine monophosphate. Guanine reacts with hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase, gets converted into guanine monophosphate. Whereas when hypoxanthine reacts with hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase, gets converted into IMP. Salvage pathway is particularly important in certain tissues such as erythrocytes and brain, where de novo synthesis of purine nucleotides is not operative. Next, coming to uric acid. Uric acid, as I said you, is the end product of purine catabolism. Uric acid levels is more in non-veg diets, and it is a natural antioxidant. Normal blood levels and excretion. Normal blood levels of uric acid in females, it is 2 to 5 milligrams per deciliter, whereas for males it is 3 to 5 milligrams per deciliter, and excretion is by kidney, that is 500 to 700 milligrams per day. Disorders of purine metabolism. Most common abnormality in purine metabolism is hyperuricemia, during which serum uric acid concentration is exceeding more than 7 mg per deciliter in male and 6 mg per deciliter in female. This hyperuricemia may be associated with uricosuriya, may or may not be associated. First disorder is gout. Gout is due to accumulation of urate crystals in the synovial fluid resulting in inflammation leading to acute arthritis. Uric acid is deposited in cooler areas of body to cause strophy. Main metabolic abnormality in patients with gout is an increased cellular pool of PRPP and excess production of nucleotides and hyperuricemia. Gout is of two types, primary and secondary. First we will learn about primary gout. This is due to overproduction of uric acid and about 10% of primary gout is idiopathic. This is due to familial incidence and incidence is 1 in 500 in total population. Causes of primary gout are abnormal 5-phosphoribosal aminotransferase, abnormal PRPP synthetase, deficiency of enzymes of salvage pathway, glucose 6-phosphatase deficiency. First, we'll study about PRPP synthetase or deficiency of this enzyme. In normal circumstances, PRPP synthetase is under feedback control by purine nucleotides. Variant form of PRPP synthetase, which are not subjected to feedback regulation, leads to an increase in production of purines. Next is deficiency of enzymes of salvage pathway. HGPRT enzyme of purine salvage pathway and its defect causes Leschner's syndrome. It is also associated with increased synthesis of purine nucleotides. Glucose 6-phosphatase deficiency. This condition is also known as von Gierke's disease. When this enzyme is deficient, glucose 6-phosphate cannot be converted to glucose. More glucose is channeled into HMP shunt, resulting in increased availability of glucose of ribose 5-phosphate. This leads to increased production of PRPP and purine synthesis. Now let us study about secondary hyperuricemia. It is due to various diseases causing increased excretion of uric acid. Increased production of uric acid due to rapidly growing malignant tissues. There will be reduced excretion rate and causing renal failure and treatment with thiazide diuretics which inhibit tubular secretion of uric acid. Clinical findings. Gallen has described the clinical image of the gouty subject as red-faced, good living, hard drinking, country square, which means you can notice in this picture that patient is having a bulge in the first metatarsophalangeal joint. During the early stages of gout, there will be deposition of this uric acid crystals near the joint, and next, as this progresses in the chronic stage, this uric acid crystals goes on elongating and this swelling will be tender and it will be red. Treatment policies in gout. So, allopurinol, which blocks formation of uric acid, can be given, and uricase, which breaks down uric acid, and probenecid, which increases excretion of uric acid in urine. When crystalline crystals is deposited in tissue, we can give NSAIDs, colchicine or corticosteroids, which reduces inflammation. Next, coming to Leschner's syndrome. It is an X-linked inherited disorder of purine metabolism. Inheritance is 1 in 10,000 males. There is deficiency of HGPRTase, so the rate of salvage pathway is decreased, resulting in accumulation of PRPP and decreased level of inhibitory purine nucleotides. It is characterized by self-mutilation, mental retardation, excessive uric acid, nephrolithiasis, and later gout also develops. Self-mutilation is nothing but these kids will be harming themselves without any reason. Neurological manifestations suggest that the brain is dependent on the salvage pathway for requirements of IMP and GMP. So the answer to this question is, the pathophysiology behind this is, elevated levels of uric acid are detectable in blood and urine, resulting in precipitation of uric crystals, of urate crystals in the joint. Next is, synovial fluid will reveal needle-shaped crystals of monosodium urate, which confirms the diagnosis. Formation of urate crystals in the big toe is thought to be associated with decreased temperature of extremities that aids in urate crystal formation when levels exceed solubility. So the diagnosis is gouty arthritis. Exam questions is, you may get, describe the biosynthesis of purine nucleotide and add a note on its regulation as essay, which is asked one time in the exam. And as a short notes, you may get purine salvage pathway, which is asked 8 times in exams, and name the disorders related to purine nucleotide metabolism, which is asked one time in exam. Thank you guys. Keep smiling.